Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how to keep my chickens warm in the wintertime without any electricity. Things first. I do not have an insulated coop. I don't have any electric plugins. I don't have any fancy coop that has no access to any air. So I have lots of gaps in my coop. Everywhere there's gaps, lots of air, like I have big doors, lots of air can get through. So don't be too worried, but I'm going to show you guys how you can keep your chickens safe this winter. One thing that's very important to keep in mind is you do not want draft, but you do need ventilation. So you do need places where air can get out, moisture can get out, so that they're not trapped in this moist area. You can see my coop is wrapped in plastic because I do not want any air getting through where they're roosting. So this is all covered in plastic, and I'll show you guys the outside is covered in plastic here. But once you go over here, there is no plastic covering this area. The doors are also wrapped because there's big gaps in between the doors. But this area right here, there's no plastic, and that's for ventilation. You guys can see right here where I said is ventilation, there's no plastic covering right here, so air can get through. And then right here, you guys can see it's covered in plastic, so no air can get through right here. The reason I choose not to use electric heat in my coop is because if one day the power were to go out at nighttime and it's really, really cold, and there is a heat lamp in here that goes out, and my chickens are not used to the cold, they will freeze because their body has not adapted itself to the cold weather. Very important that your chickens molt like they're supposed to, get used to the cold weather as it changes. Otherwise, if something like that were to happen and you lose your power, they're all gonna die probably. Sorry to say it. Another thing that's really important if you do not want your chickens' toes to get frostbitten is 2x4 roosts. Let me show you guys why this is important. When your chickens are roosting, they will put their feet on top of this and they will lay flat. So that way their feathers can cover their little feet. If you have roosting bars like this, their toes will wrap around it to grip hold, and underneath here where their toes are, they will not be covered by their feathers, so their little toes will get frostbitten. You guys know my chickens do not roost on this little thing. I just have it in here. They do not use it really. For reference, I live in Canada, and it can reach up to like -30 degrees. It can get really, really cold. Now, keep in mind, that's only like probably 1 to 2 nights per year that happens. But it can get really, really cold. And I do have silkies, and none of my chickens have ever perished from the cold weather, and they've always been in this coop, and I've not really changed anything. Another thing that I do not have, because I do not have electricity in my coop, is heated waters. So yes, my chicken's water will freeze at night most of the time, and I have a bowl like this where I can easily take outside and dump out the ice really easily, and then I just refill it with warm water from inside every morning using my watering can. It's a little bit of a chore, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I ain't got no electricity. Now technically I could run an extension cord all the way out here, but we do not have one, and we just use what we got, and this works perfectly fine. The water doesn't freeze all day, and if on a rare times it does, I'll just come out and refill it. My coop isn't too far from my house, so I don't have far to walk. Now, something that really does help keep the warmth in is a wall here that does not have any air, and it's like my barn's across it, so that does keep some warmth in because it's not getting hit with the wind all the time from every side. Another thing that you can do to help keep your chickens warm and stay strong is feed them high protein, high calorie treats like scrambled eggs, oatmeal. Make sure you always cook the oatmeal. Don't just give them plain oatmeal. Mealworms, black soldier fly larvae, pretty much just stuff like that. That's going to give them some protein, and that's going to help them stay strong, keep warm through the night, keep warm through the daytime. But yeah. I also up their protein in their feed. I feed them a 19% grower feed, so that way they can also get that protein. I also give them some scratch and some black oil sunflower seeds, and I mix it in their feed, and that is also great for them as well. It's also very important that you choose breeds that are good for your area. Like I said, I do have silkies, and it does get pretty cold here, but like I said, they've sort of adapted, but that's not the case for all flocks, and it's very important you pick the breed right for you in your area. Only instance where I have gotten frostbite is when it was an area where there was lots of draft coming in, and it was one of my roosters who got it on the comb, and we had to keep it inside for the cold months. That was crooked toes, if you saw videos from last year's wintertime. Yeah, guys, like I said, you don't need to do anything special, but you do need to keep that draft away and feed them some good protein. That's pretty much most important, and always make sure that they do have water and that they're not just eating the snow, because that's not going to hydrate them. They need to keep their energy. They need to have energy to keep their body keeping warm. Yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys got some information that you can use this winter time to keep all your flock safe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!